Hey Vinyl Community, Jeff back again for another collection video. Yeah, let's just blow through some of these. Kind of fun getting to pull all these out and look. And so today we're talking Stryper, and the reason being is because just the other day, over the weekend, one of my previous videos, what in my channel actually, but I appeared on Headbanging Zulu's UK's channel, and we discussed and ranked the 5 first Stryper albums, and we ranked them from, you know, what we considered best to least favorite. So anyway, it kind of was on. I had Stryper stuff pulled, and I thought, let's pull the rest of my stuff. Now I did look back because I knew I did something like this, and back 5 years ago, way back in the early days of my video making, I did a Stryper spotlight video where I showed everything, including CDs. 30-minute video, trying not to go there this time. We're going to strictly stick with vinyl. Been a lot of stuff added since then. Handful of new additions and stuff came out, so figured this collection has changed enough with the latter year stuff to make it worth showing again. Plus, who goes back and watches videos from that long ago? Anyway, so let's get right into this. I'm just going to try to blow through these and not take all day or explain much. So I have done Stryper videos before where I've explained my connections, my meetings and greet-ups and meetups. And on my channel, I've got interviews where I've interviewed Michael, I think at least twice. I believe on my channel, if you scroll back or just look up Stryper, there's a lot of stuff I've done on Stryper. But this is just strictly blowing through my current vinyl collection. The Rox Regime demos, before Stryper was called Stryper, they were called Rox Regime. They recorded a demo that basically most of the songs ended up being later on the first Stryper album, but in this case they were slightly different. Some of them even had different lyrics. And because when Stryper first started as Rox Regime, they were not a Christian band. And a lot of their songs were a little different, but by the time you get to this era, they're in flux, and so Rox Regime later changed to Stryper. But this is the original demos that they released, and those were released on vinyl a couple years ago. And they were released on random colors, so everyone was different. So multiple people have multiple colors. I have one. All right, then you move into 1984 with their first album, Yellow and Black Attack. For this album, I do have 3 copies, and I would explain again real briefly. The first editions that came out had cropping errors. The missiles were short, the hand was short. You couldn't see the initials of the band members on there. They released it on black, and they released it all cropped off, messed up again on yellow. So the initial album came out black and yellow, but was cropped incorrectly. And then shortly thereafter, probably same year, they reissued it on black with the proper cropping. You can see all the initials on there and the hand and everything. So I have 3 copies. I have one of each of the 3 different versions that came out. Then after their second album came out and they became a little more popular, the label went back and remixed those albums, the first album and the first EP, I guess you could say. They remixed it, and then most fans thought, and I think even Michael's not a fan of it, but it's compressed. And the first album was just raw and heavy, and this one is compressed, and it didn't go over well. I just have the version that's cut like a circle. There is a version out there from a club version, like a record club version that's square, and I do have one. I've seen one in my local store, and I'm trying to talk myself out of buying it. Just I need another copy, but anyway, this one's blue. I'm not sure what the other edition is, but if it's still there next time I go to that store, I'm probably going to be a sucker and buy it. So after the first album came out, the first initial one, not that remix version, we got a Christmas single, Reason for the Season, backed with a very cool version of Winterland. Came out, I originally had it as this, and it came out as a 12-inch, and so I ended up having both of those. Then, so around that time, that's really all we had. Then we started getting, hints of a new album coming, and so they started dropping singles for it, Together as One, back with Soldiers Under Command. So we had a 12-inch single of 2 songs that were from the forthcoming album called Soldiers Under Command. Then we got another one at some point, Reach Out, backed with Together as One. Again, I'm not sure why they did that, or I don't think it's live. Anyway, so we got another single before we finally got or around the time we got Soldiers Under Command. And so there are 2 versions of this. I have a white vinyl version, which I picked up not too many years ago, and then I have original black one from back in the day. So just original black. Soldiers Under Command put them on the map really heavily. They started, you know, they had some video footage and news coverage and stuff like that. So they were starting to make a big splash there. But they really blew up when they came into Hell with the Devil. I only have the cover with the angels here on here. There is a cover that's been censored that's just black with the logo. I don't have a copy of that, and if I see one, I probably will buy it, but I have not in a while. So this is the one that the Christian bookstores and some of the companies didn't want that cover, so they censored it and made it just black with the logo to Hell with the Devil. This is the one that really hit them big on MTV, Free, Calling on You, all of that stuff. This was the one that really took them over the top, made them a big thing at this point, thanks to MTV and all that kind of stuff. I also have a picture disc version of this. Comes with the cool poster that's got the pictures from that era. And so yeah, collector's edition, color 24 by 36 poster. So hopefully the glare is seeable on that. Then shortly after that, get the sticker on here, In God We Trust dropped, and yeah, to me it's very much in the same vein as To Hell with the Devil, a little more produced. You know, it's very much digitally produced, but the song patterns, it just seems like if you went back and compared opening tracks, you know, song to song between this and To Hell with the Devil, there's a lot of similarities. They were really going for that same feel as far as, you know, heavy song, commercial song, blah blah blah. So very much just excellent album though. Just love these songs and everything. They knew how to write power ballads. They knew how to write, you know, great songs, and they did some heavy stuff too. And then there was a single, Always There For You, from this, which is a little picture disc cut one, and this cover has seen better days for sure. It's gotten all dirty and foggy, but there are a lot of other singles that I don't have. Then in 1990 they came out with Against the Law, and this was probably, you know, they really changed colors, changed styles a little bit, a little heavier, a little less squeaky clean, and a little more I don't know, it's just a little beefier altogether. And so yeah, they right after this is when they basically broke up. They were going through some rough times from all the struggles they had in the previous years, but a lot of people find this to be one of their favorite albums, me included. It's a great album of great stuff. And then the band broke up, or basically Michael Sweet left. They went on it for a little while without him, and it didn't work out. And then the other guys did some other things, and then lo and behold, Michael started doing solo albums. So that's 1990. Then 2003, basically Michael was doing another solo album. Somehow they'd done some Stryper expos at the point in like 2000, 2001, 2002, somewhere in those early 2000s. There were some Stryper expos, and fans were, you know, hey, we want to get Stryper back together, blah blah blah, you know. And so the suggestion was made, I guess, somehow that, you know, Michael's new album, he should pull in the Stryper guys. And so he basically had them record it with him. It's still Michael's solo album, and he released it as a solo album just a couple years ago, as it would have originally sounded. But basically they came in and Stryper recorded the album, and so it has a different feel because it feels more like a Stryper, like a Michael Sweet solo album, than it does a Stryper album. It's kind of got an alternate feel. But anyway, Reborn was born out of that as the first Stryper album, 2003. And I had the original vinyl version, which was clear with the poster, but I sold that once I got this edition. This is the Church on Vinyl reissue that came out, I believe, a handful of years ago. So I have that, and I don't know, I should have kept the other one as a collector, but it was worth some money, so I sold it. And then just recently, in like the past couple months, Girder Music put out another version of Reborn, and it's you know, remastered for vinyl, yellow and black swirl, and yeah. So Church on Vinyls and overseas, they release in small quantities. Girder is, you know, US, and they release in you know, larger quantities. So I already showed that. All right, then moving into the new era, which, I mean, that was the beginning of the new era, the reforming of Stryper 2003, but that was sort of a Stryper album in name only. But then moving on, when the band actually got together and started working together, we've got Murder by Pride. This is a Church of Vinyl reissue that came out, numbered edition from overseas. I'm not going to open this all together, but so this came out on vinyl. Actually, was there an earlier vinyl edition of this? I think maybe not. No, I don't think so. So yeah, Church of Vinyl reissued this. They're an overseas company that has done a lot of stuff you'll see with Stryper. But then just a couple months ago, we've got an edition, a U.S. edition from Gerder Records, remastered yellow and black splatter vinyl of Murder by Pride there. So we got an official release there. And then Gerder also did the covering album, which was Stryper doing cover tunes of bands that they were influenced by growing up. Saxon, Kiss, Van Halen, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, Ozzy, Deep Purple, Kansas. Yeah. And then they have one track on here, which is a brand new Stryper song called God. Great stuff there. That is finally, for the first time ever on vinyl, thanks to Gerder Music. Then we move into, so this is No More Hell to Pay. This is one of the ones that was near impossible for me to get on vinyl back in the day. By the time I got into vinyl, their Stryper vinyl stuff was hard to find. So Church of Vinyl reissued this. They released it on a cool pop-up. It says deluxe edition, but it's a double record set. It's just got the standard records on there. But it was great to have them reissued on this, because this was the one that I could not get on vinyl. I had on eBay one day. I was bidding on it once. It was like a blue copy, and it you know how those people are at the last minute. It shot up, and I couldn't click fast enough to upgrade to. It didn't go for a terrible, horrible price. It seemed like it was under $60 or under 70, but it went too fast, and it disappeared. I was at a theme park, and so I'm trying to do it while I'm in between rides. Anyway, but I finally got a copy from Church of Vinyl, who also released a single, kind of a 12-inch, more like a 10-inch, and it's got No More Hell to Pay, Legacy. Kind of a cool little picture disc that's got, this card in there that's kind of a part of the artwork from the album. Number 242 of 400. So grab that. Great stuff. And then Fallen. This is one of the ones I was able to get on vinyl on the day back when it came out. It wasn't outrageously expensive. I think I've got just black on that. Again, double record set. Great stuff. This is, like I said, the new era of their stuff. Church of Vinyl also did a 10-inch, 12-inch of that with 2 songs and the card and everything. So that's really cool. Then the band went back in the studio for Second Coming, and they re-recorded songs from the first 3 albums, and with new technology and how the band sounds now, and more mature sound, different production, everything. And so I don't know if those first 5 albums were ever going to get reissued, or will ever, I don't know who owns those, if they'll ever get the reissue, remaster, and all that stuff. So in the meantime, the band has re-recorded some of their bigger hits from those, with the promise that there's a Second Coming 2 in the works that will be for the albums that followed after those first 3. So hopefully that is still happening. I hear it brought up occasionally. All right, then after that, we got, this is the Church of Vinyl edition of GD Evil, anyway. Their new album. This is another one of the pop-ups. There is other Church of Vinyl editions that came out after this, where they've got like the names cut out, and it's another thing. And I had them on my list to buy, but I didn't go crazy with that. This is a single set. This is a black. I need to take this out of the bags. I hate these sealable bags. They're just so frustrating to deal with. Yellow. So, but anyway, Church of Vinyl has this deluxe edition that came out not too long after the original, which is this cover, the original. And this one is, when it first came out, this is the gray one that I had. Again, these came out on multiple colors. And so I have the gray or silver edition of that. And then it came out on Record Store Day like a year or so later on an aqua blue, I guess to match the blue sky there. Have not opened this because I bought it because, kind of as a collector. Figured, maybe one day I'll pass it on to somebody else. And again, Church of Vinyl, little 10-inch, 12-inch single for that one too, with the artwork and card and everything there. Killer stuff there. Then, Even the Devil Believes, a deluxe edition. Again, Church of Vinyl. And again, pop-up. There's nothing really deluxe about it. It's the same songs. It's just, cool cover and everything. What color was this one on? Yellow. All right. Then the original, this is the one that came out originally before they got reissued on Church of Vinyl. So that's the original cover. I believe this one is just black, I think. Yeah, just black. Standard edition there. Another 10-inch picture just from Church of Vinyl with 2 tracks on that. And then we move into the most recent album that came out just a year or so ago, The Final Battle. Double record set, black and yellow marble of the new album there. I have this, but before I bought that one, I had ordered from a different site a yellow edition and a black edition. This is the yellow edition. That's the marble edition. I ordered these first. I said I'll buy the black one to listen to. I'll buy the yellow one just to have in my collection as a collector's edition. Then I found the marble edition, which I thought was very beautiful, on a different site for about the same price. So I bought that. That came in first. I opened it, played it. These came in later. Put them in my collection. Just about 2 days ago, I was sending a package of stuff. A friend of mine in South Carolina, when we were down there, he came over. We had dinner. There was an album that I had bought at one of the stores in South Carolina that was an extra, that I mentioned in one of my videos was an extra. And he loved that band and loved them, saw them in concert. And so I said, you can have it. And then he left it at my house by accident. So I had to mail it back to him once I got here. We mailed a package to him over the weekend. I said, I guess I'll throw in some other albums. And I threw in some extras that I had. And my wife convinced me to throw in the new Stryper album. And so I gave my black edition to my friend, still sealed, kept the yellow edition, and I have the marble edition. So there you go. I still have 2 copies of that. Great stuff. That's it. That's Stryper in my vinyl collection as it stands now. That's it for this one, though. See you later. Rock on and rock hard.